Okay, gentlemen and ladies, we're going to be doing notes on adding and subtracting integers. So let's go ahead and set up our notes. One should be setting it up Cornell style, please. Adding and subtracting integers. Should be a capital I. So, we can go through this fairly quickly. Let's make sure that all of you can see. I'm going to turn down the brightness a little bit. I think that worked out for you just fine. All right, cool. So we're going to start with adding. Adding integers. So we're going to do an example. We're going to do a visual. And we're going to set up an equation. Alright, so first things first, I'm going to turn the brightness down a little. Hopefully you can see all right. So we're going to start with the example 5 plus negative 3. Right? So this means 5 positive, then I add 3 negatives. 5 positives, and I'm adding 3 negatives, right? So let's draw this out. I add 5 positives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when I add in 3 negatives, I add in 1 negative, 2 negative, 3 negatives. That's I added in 3 negatives. What that means is these each create what's called a zero pair. So I'm going to put that in my notes over here. I have a plus and a minus tile. That means zero pair. So anytime I see a plus and a minus show up next to each other like that, it's a zero pair. So it goes to 0. I'll zoom in a little bit just in case you're having a hard time seeing. There you go. So 1 zero pair, 2 zero pair, 3 zero pair, and that's what's left, 2 positives. So with the equation is 5 plus 3 negatives gives me 1, 2, positive 2. That's how you'd solve it. I'm going to go through these a little bit more quickly just so that way we're seeing the different styles. Let's try now negative 5 plus 2. So that would be negative 5, so I'm going to put in 5 negatives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I add in, I'm adding in 2 positives. So add 2 positives. I add in 2 positives. 1, 2. Again, that's a zero pair. So if it shows up like that, or it shows up like that, either way, it's a zero pair because it's a positive and a negative. And what that means is it cancels out to 0, just like these all cancel to 0. So now I have negative 5 plus 2 gives me, and I see what's left, 1, 2, 3 negatives, gives me negative 3 left. Let's do the next one. Negative 6 plus negative 2. If you need to pause the video at any time, feel free to go ahead and do that. I'm going fast so that way the video is relatively short. 6 negatives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm adding in 2 negatives. Add 2 negatives. Oops. There we go. So now let's add in our 2 negatives. 1, 2. So I've added in my 2 negatives because this told me to add in 2 negatives. Negative 6. Adding in 2 negatives. Let's see what's left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And there's nothing that cancels. There's no zero pairs. It gives me negative 8. See, I'm looking around. Are there any plus and minuses? No. So that's why it cancels. So all of that would be adding integers. let's go back down to subtracting integers. I'm going to set up the same table. I'm going to put my example here, my visual, my equation. Alright, cool. So, first example I'm going to do is -3 minus -2. So, same thing. Start out with my first number. 1, 2, 3 negatives. I'm taking away. So that minus means take away. So I have 3 negatives. Take away 2 negatives. Here are my 2 negatives. I take them away. What's left? I only have 1 negative left, don't I? So I took those away. So -3, take away -2, gives me just 1 negative left. 1 negative left. Let's try the next one. -5, take away +2. So, here's where it gets tricky. I have 5 negatives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take away 2 positives. But the problem is I don't have 2 positives here, do I? So I'm going to change this. Now I can't add in numbers randomly. But -5 is the same as -5 plus 0. Or I can add 0 as many times as I want. So -5 is the same as -5 adding zeros. And some of you are thinking, why would you add 0, Mr. Sullins? Well, let me tell you. Because in my visual, here's -5. If I add 0, like a 0 pair, that's still -5. Because these would be canceling out. You see? So if when I cancel those out, it's gone. Now, the reason I'm going to do that is so I can add in a couple of 0 pairs until I have enough positives to take away. So let's see, I have 5 negatives. I've added in a couple of 0 pairs. So I didn't change my whole answer. But now I can take away 2 positives because I have my 2 positives to take away. Now that I've done that, that's like -5 minus +2. I will get, let's see, when I take away those 2 positives, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 negatives. And that's how it works. Let's do our last problem. Let's do it the other way though. 3 positives, take away 3 negatives. Same concept. Add in 3 positives to start out. That's my starting point. I'm going to take away 3 negatives. Do I have 3 negatives? No. So let's add in 0 pairs. Do I have 3 negatives yet? No. Do I have 3 negatives yet to take away? Still no. Do I have 3 negatives yet to take away? Now I do. So I'm going to take away three negatives. Okay? After taking my 3 negatives, let's see what happens. 3 minus -2. Sorry, -3. I said that wrong. 3 minus -3. If I do that, I will be left with 6 positives. Positive 6. Gentlemen, ladies, those are your notes. I would like you at the bottom to write a summary and try a few example problems. So write it 3 to 5 sentences. And then I want you to try a few examples. Example A, B, C. Example A, we're going to do 5 plus negative 4. Show me what that equals. I want to see the same thing that we did up here with the example, the visual, and the equation. We're going to do negative 3 minus negative 1. And then the last one we'll do is, let's see, 4 minus negative 2. You're going to do those 3 problems along with your notes. I want to see the work on them after you do your 3-5 sentence summary. Any questions, let me know. I'll see you all in class.